Hello and welcome to the very last episode of the Week in Nintendo Land for 2020. And what better way to see out the year than by discussing all the latest Nintendo news that's happened in the last 7 days, including the Indie World Showcase, Sephiroth coming to Smash Bros. Ultimate, and our first look at Super Nintendo World at Universal Studios Japan. Plus, we're going to be answering all the questions that you sent in this week. And who better to spend the last pod with than my lovely co-hosts Nathan and Anna.
Hello.
Hey. How are we all doing? All good?
Oh, I'm doing great in my Pokemon Black Milk jacket.
You're looking very dapper, very dapper.
It was worth every dollar. Not cheap, but worth every dollar.
Oh, okay, that's good. That's good.
It's lined with Pokeballs.
That does look good. That does look good.
Master balls and great balls.
I am wearing my new Psyduck hoodie.
Yes. I love it. Man. It's so cool.
I feel left. I didn't get the memo. I should have worn something Pokemon. I'm wearing a Batman Christmas jumper.
Okay,
that's not even video games.
I know. Yeah, it's very on brand. What, Arkham Asylum?
But it's all right.
I'll give you that.
I'll give you that.
I'll give it a pass.
Could it be coming to Switch sometime soon? Who knows?
It's on Wii U.
Yes. Yeah. So.
Lego Batman's probably somewhere on the Switch.
It is. Yeah. Lego DC Villains. Good games.
There we go. So talking about games, let's jump straight in and talk about the Indie World Showcase. That was released last Wednesday. There was tons of new games and surprises in there. So initial reactions, is early 2021 looking like a very strong indie lineup for Nintendo Switch?
Yeah. A couple of really cool surprises and a couple of things that we expected or knew were coming, like getting a solid date for Super Meat Boy, because we already knew it was coming out December 23rd on other consoles and Steam, I think. So getting parity was great. That was more of like okay, cool, we are getting that. So that wasn't a surprise.
That was the big one. Calico came out right after the showcase. So that's like out now. And that's a big one people are talking about, I feel like. I'm seeing everyone talking about it. Normally these like kitty sim games go under the radar, and I'm just like, has anyone heard about Cattails? Has anyone supported Snacko on Kickstarter? All those things are relevant, by the way. Go check them out. But
when is
I was
Snacko
like, oh
coming to Switch?
Snacko is I'm gonna be in. I supported their beta for the Kickstarter, but that's on PC.
All right.
So when that comes out, I'll start begging them. Anyway, Calico. I keep seeing people talking about Calico. And I'm very surprised and very pleased, and I'm glad it's out now. But as for next year, I think, I don't know. Oh, and speaking of out now, I'm getting ahead of us, but hello, Among Us?
Yes, I was gonna say.
There was a few games about like out now. You could have mentioned any, because my mind immediately was like Grindstone. Grindstone's incredible. I've been playing Grindstone.
I immediately thought of Calico. I was like, what is this game? Oh, it's out now?
Yeah. No, to be fair, Calico, it looks like everything I wanted Little Dragon's Cafe to be, and that game was disappointing at least. Or as well, like same as like my time at Porsche, like it looks like that but good. Like that's really disparaging. My time at Porsche was all right. It got a lot better, but I love
Porsche's okay. I like Porsche.
It had a lot of really good updates because I played it when it first came out for review, and it was
a mess. It was a mess when it first came out for the Switch. Agreed.
But, yeah. Have you picked up Calico yet? Because I want to get a couple of reviews before I drop the money. It's only £9, so I wonder how.
I've seen people playing it. It looks really cute.
Yeah, but just having a little cafe, a load of cats, that looks great.
Yeah, I was gonna say for the uninformed, what is like me? What is Calico? Why is it so good?
It seems like basically think like Stardew Valley, but you're a cat, and instead of having a farm, you're trying to make a cafe. Like that's like an easy way of explaining it for people. You're just befriending people, and you're going around, and you're doing cute stuff, and it's very laid back, and there's low pressure. Your heart rate's not going to go up unless you're falling in love with a character because they're so darn cute.
A nice gentle game.
Yeah,
gentle
game. For this, for 2020 when everything else is going wrong.
We also got Spelunky 1 and 2. Very happy to see those. That I was super surprised to see they're both summer 2021. As soon as I saw them announced, I was like, oh, we'll get 1 today and then 2 in a couple of months' time or something. I really had it in my mind that they were going to release 1 there and then, and they were like,
it
nope.
Seems like very far off for something like that.
With the newer one, I get it because it's been on PS4, so maybe they've got to like port that over and figure it out. But like, Spelunky 1 came out a while ago, man.
Are they going to be like packaged together, or you have to like buy them separately?
I think it's separate. I don't think it's been explained properly, but I think it is separate. And they're both really big games, so it's completely understandable. And then before we get to the big one, I do really want to shout out Grindstone because that game is so good. I had it on Apple Arcade and played the flip out of it. And then I was super happy to pay for it on my Switch again. That game is really, really fun. And because it's been on iPhones and worked really well, the touchscreen interface on the Switch is really good. All works perfectly. It's like a little handheld game. And I've got the brain training stylus at the moment as well, because I just bought brain training a couple of weeks ago. I'm playing it with that. It's really, really good. So it's like a fighting puzzle game where you fight all the pieces and have to figure your way through. It's really, really cool. I love it.
Oh, nice. Is it quite cheap, or is it, expensive
it is
game?
Not. It's 11 quid. It's on sale at the moment as well because it's on like a intro sale. But there's a lot of content. There's a daily challenge, and they're going to add updates to it, I think, as well. I think it's worth the price. It's a really, really quality game. It's not like those weird Picto Cross games where it's like 3 quid for 300 puzzles. This is a high quality game with really interesting music and animation. Like it's worth the money.
And yeah, so let's talk about a big one, Among Us. That came, as they announced, as they released the Indie World Showcase, it came to Switch. So has anyone played it on Switch yet? Or there's rumblings of a Switch player kind of game maybe over Christmas.
That would be the first time I've ever played it. If we do that, I've never even played it.
So good. It's really fun.
It is. It's just like I have an aversion to games where I can lose, not of my own merit. Like I have an aversion to games where I can lose just because someone else was stupid, because they, you know what I mean. Like I like games
Ever
where
played Mario Kart?
I lose based on the items can get annoying in Mario Kart. I'm the kind of person that doesn't like to play Smash with items. Put it like that. Like,
okay.
I don't like to play Smash with items because I feel like it ruins the game, because I don't want to lose because I got I want to lose because you're really good at Smash and I suck at Smash.
But Among Us is a party game.
I know, and I hate party games. I hated Fall Guys too.
Not for you.
I like party games where again you can win because you're good. But
That's not a party game.
Most popular ones are based on chance. No, there are some where you can win because you're good, like trivia based games, or like Mario Party. You can be really good at the mini games, and that's technically a party game.
But I think one of the reasons Among Us has spread so wildly is because you don't need to know how to play a video game to play it.
I get why it's popular. It's just personally, I'm one of the unicorns that doesn't play it. And that doesn't make me cool. That doesn't make me edgy or awesome. I'm an outlier. Hi.
It's a good one to play over like Zoom with a couple of friends.
It's perfect for streaming.
100%.
Yeah, I've got friends who don't really play computer games, but they download it on Steam or whatever, and it's so much fun. You can see who's which one of your friends is a terrible liar, which is a really good liar. It's so much fun. Have a couple of beers, play it.
I've got into trouble because of how good I am at lying. Like I've played it with my friends, and then like I was playing it with the cross players guys before, and our friend Max, we like went into a room together, and he was like, "What are you up to?" And I was like, "I'm just doing some tasks and stuff." And he was like, "Oh yeah, really cool." And then I killed him, walked out of the room, kind of walked around in a loop, and then came back a few seconds later, and I was like, "Oh my god, guys, I've just found Max." And everyone was like, "What?" And I was like, I think I just saw something coming up, but I've just found his body. And they were like, okay. And obviously when you get killed, you have to go silent. And Max WhatsApped me immediately like, I can't believe you've done this.
What's your, because like I found it like quite hard when I first started playing it, like trying to like kill people, because I was always like following everyone around and looking really super suspicious.
That's the thing. If you just stand behind people would be like, are you doing a task or are you stalking me to kill me?
So
what are your tips if someone's just picking it up, they've just downloaded it on Switch, what are your tips for playing? And specifically like when you're the killer, what are the best things you can do because a couple of my friend Dan was like, he's like a seasoned player, and he was like, you've got to pretend to do tasks, like go to
100%,
stand there and time how long it takes to do a task, and just so you need to.
That's how the good imposters do it.
You need to learn the names of the tasks, so when someone asks what you're doing, you can say what you're doing, and you need to learn to vent. So don't follow people into rooms. Go around on your own, and in every room there's a vent or something you can jump in, and then you can jump out when someone comes in the room. So don't follow people into rooms, because then they're like, well, yeah, obviously you're about to do this.
Because there's no reason that two people should be going in a room.
Exactly.
There's literally no reason. So like, you're like, oh, I just want to hang out with you. There's that's the first thing when I watch people, and I'm like, so like, go into vents, or what you can do is the buddy system, where you're like, okay, well, let's a few of us buddy up, like I'll go with this person go with this person, and hope that people forget who your buddy was. Because if you have a buddy system and then kill your buddy, hopefully people won't remember. That's a really dirty way of playing the game, but you can do that. It's kill or be killed. It's a really fun game.
There's so much strategy.
Yeah,
that's great.
I wouldn't mind the killing part. The part I don't like is that there's so many people that are like, it's like playing Cards Against Humanity with people that don't have the same sense of humor as you. And you could be like, no, don't you understand? I'm literally not lying. And they'll be like, no, you're lying. We're kicking you off. And you're like, no.
Real sense of betrayal of when you know someone who you think is the killer, and people are like, that sounds like something a killer would say, and you're like, no, I think it's Max. And then you get kicked out, and you're like,
I bet.
I hate this.
I can sense how bad that is. I don't want to experience that.
I did one where like I played a game and I was like, it's definitely this guy. Like I saw him coming out of a vent and killing someone. I definitely saw him, and it turned out he wasn't the killer, and I just completely misseen something. I just saw him go into a room. So I convinced everyone to vote him out, and it was like, oh, he's not the killer. I was like, oh, sorry.
So you were that guy.
Yeah, just like throwing accusations around everywhere, just like it's him.
Yeah, we've had really fun ones as well. We're like, we've been playing it, and I've just walked into a room with a person killing someone. I'd be like, right, well, I just saw Rich killing someone, and then like we get the emergency meeting and be like, yep, Nathan walked in on me. We're like, okay, bye, Rich. That game's over.
Game over. Yeah, all good.
I don't know much about the because obviously this is a game that really heavily focuses on being able to talk to your friends. Playing this on just text chat is miserable. This is not a fun game to type in all the words, and you lose a lot of the fun of listening to people's voices and being like, are you lying? I don't know what the capabilities are on this. I don't know if this has inbuilt voice chat like Fortnite or something, but I think I've heard that it doesn't. I don't want to say
that would be a bad thing if it did. I didn't think about that. I kind of assumed it did.
Yeah, I mean, I think the assumption is everyone's just going to play it over Discord anyway, but a lot of kids are maybe going to pick this up over Christmas, and smaller kids don't have Discord or don't own it and want to play this with their friends. So you always have to think of like, the lowest denominator, like someone's not going to be able to do these things. So yeah, I'm not going to say that absolutely. I'm going to have a quick look whilst we chat about other things to see if I can confirm that, because I don't want to shout my mouth off and get told afterwards I was wrong.
Yeah, actually in the comments, actually it does have it.
Yeah,
technically.
I don't know if we talked about it last week, but it's like the recent Nintendo adverts with like Brie Larson and stuff, when it's kind of like she's playing Animal Crossing,
opens Discord.
yeah, it's like it's just like
there's actually a voice chat in the official Nintendo Switch app, and she's not using that. She's using a separate video chat thing, because they know their service is crappy and nobody uses it.
Okay, so Among Us for Switch does not feature voice chat, but quite fairly, literally no version of the game does. So the mobile version doesn't have it, but people have just used Discord. So there's no difference in this version of the game, which is much more fair, I suppose. The developers of this game built the game with text chat in mind, and people have just learnt to use Discord. So it's not like there's anything less in this. So as much as it would have been nice, I don't think anything's been taken away. And a lot of people will use Discord anyway. It just would have been nice, as a lot of, It's if you're playing it on your phone, you can probably download Discord on your phone, but having it on a console is a bit different.
I guess it's quite tricky as well. Like if they did build voice chat into the game, and someone got killed, and suddenly said, "Oh, this person's the killer. They just killed me." Then it's
Well,
hard, isn't it?
Well, if it was built into the game, what it would probably do is mute people as soon as they got killed. It would probably do the things that people have been doing in Discord anyway. So that would be interesting if they ever do add that, because I know because Among Us was released originally in 2018 and they announced Among Us 2 the year after, and then in 2020 the original Among Us got famous for no reason, because people figured out if you play it on Discord, this is the funnest streaming game we've ever had. So they cancelled the sequel, and they just set out a roadmap of updates for the original Among Us.
Right.
So instead of building a sequel, they're like, okay, we'll just add to Among Us 1. So they're adding a load of features. They're adding like colorblind modes, new maps and stuff. So maybe
like an airship thing coming or something.
Yeah, is that coming next year?
Well, it's probably not coming in the next few days. But we'll see. It probably is.
There was people who figured out how to unlock it.
Yeah.
And then they patched it, I think.
So who knows? We might see an inbuilt voice chat. I think that would be really cool for them to add it, because this game has become famous for voice chat. I
feel like that's got to be something on their their wish list of updates.
Yeah, 100%. The thing to remember with Among Us is they are like a 2-3 person development studio who did not expect and were not prepared for what happened, and they've done their best, and they have stormed through this year, and absolute respect to them, because they've come out on top and they've earned it. But I think they've had to like grow and adapt very, very quickly.
Yeah.
I've already arranged a Among Us Christmas Day with my family. A Christmas Day game.
Sounds like a fun family game. It's easy to explain to people who are not gamers.
If you're in the same room, it's difficult, because if someone goes quiet, you're like, well, Dad's obviously been killed.
That's true.
Because Boris Johnson has gracefully allowed us to kind of go into tier 4, so we can't go anywhere for Christmas. I'm going to be at home with, home alone pretty much. So
making the most of it.
Exactly. Yeah, I've got my wife. It's all good. Anyway, let's talk about some more games. One that I really like the look of was Fisty Fluffs, the kind of cat brawling game that looked like really good fun.
Yes, absolutely.
We kind of take control of cats fighting, like a battle royale kind of thing. That looked really good fun.
Look at that.
Talk about games that are going to end relationships.
That looks like a really good fun party game that you wouldn't, it's not very deep, but and then very, very Valet as well. That looked like a similar kind of thing. We've got kind of park cars, work against friends, parking cars and things like that. That
looks very moving out and good job, sort of like physics-based puzzler. Looks really fun.
Yeah. I kind of across like 20 different levels that kind of get increasingly hard and crazy. So that looks really, really good fun. Do anyone else have any other games that kind of stood out for them?
Alba, a wildlife adventure, looks really good. That was the one where you play as a young girl who's helping to catalog animals on an island and help rescue some. That looks really awesome. It's already out on Apple Arcade, and it's had a load of really positive reviews as well. And that game, the developers, as well as making a game about rescuing animals, they have guaranteed that every single sale of the game on any platform will equate to 1 tree planted.
Nice.
Yeah.
So they're really cool developers, and the game looks brilliant. So I think that one is going to just says spring or something at the moment. It's going to be early.
I think the big one for me was Calico. That was the one that stood out, that I was like, oh baby, that's my game of the year.
When you've played it, let me know.
I will. I watched one of my friends streaming it, but I really want to get my hands on it.
So that's the Indie World Showcase. The other big news last week was Sephiroth coming to Super Smash Brothers. So he's officially available this Tuesday. But if you pre-ordered the Fighters Pass, you could unlock him early in a challenge.
Yep.
Nathan, you've unlocked him. You've completed the challenge, or are you still working on it?
No, I have unlocked him. I made that my mission on Friday. I did stay up to watch the reveals, like the Sakurai presentation, but I didn't do it there and then because it was like 10 p.m. So I did that on Friday, and he's so cool, man. Yeah. And adding this one-time boss event as well. Yeah. So like the way it works is from after Sakurai's presentation, you could go into a boss event, and obviously you had to beat Sephiroth. And if you could beat him, then you unlock him, which is such a cool way of doing the DLC. That's really interesting. So every single DLC character we've had just seems to be something interesting about them or a new way to add to the game that like it's almost making me sad that this game's going to be over soon, because they just seem to be finding new ways to freshen it up. Like I don't think we're going to get a DLC Fighters Pass 3. And even if we were, I think the difficulties of...
Well, new fighters doesn't necessarily mean the game's over.
No, I hope they continue supporting it, because, you know, I don't know if we're going to have a Switch successor for years yet. So after he's done with this, he's probably going to have a big old rest.
Right.
But well-earned rest, I think.
Yeah, God. Yeah, I don't want him to do Kid Icarus Uprising 2 for many years. I'm happy to wait, even though I want that game on my Switch.
Yes, Uprising's so good. We talked about that.
Every time. But so Sephiroth as a character, sick. Really like ominous presence. His victory screen is literally like the famous cinematic of Sephiroth against the flame wall. Like he's so stylized, and the way he moves, like it's a really, really interesting character. He's like very zoning heavy, so it reminds me a little bit of Byleth, the side reach of Byleth with the legendary weapons you get in Three Houses. I can't remember what they're called. Was really, really wide, and he's got a very similar reach with his sword. But he's also kind of got Mewtwo-esque and Lucario-esque chargeable, like a flame side.
Like something you can shoot out.
Yeah, and then he's got this purple energy thing which saps players like HP or like ups the percentage as well. And his down A is the very famous down A sword move from Final Fantasy VII. I'm sorry, I've got a really sore throat. So I think he's come over really, really well. I'm so happy we finally have some more Square Enix music in the game. We got Mii Fighters for Barret, Aerith, Tifa, and Gino, RIP Gino in Smash. That's not happening because Super Mario RPG is one game and it's 20 years old and nobody knows who that character is. And that's not how you sell a Fighters Pass. That's not what you do. Sorry,
He's
guys.
He's not wrong.
I love that game. I love Super Mario RPG, but you don't add an obscure character from a 20-year-old game. You just don't do that.
Yeah. When I read it was like Gino. I was like, who? Like who?
When everyone's sitting there begging for like the likes of Sora, you don't add that.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Waluigi's still on the table. That would just be.
We said he'll be the last one, right? He'll be the last.
Oh, he's gotta be. I believe
he is.
I believe he's the last one.
Yeah. So like this is probably the nail in the coffin for another Square Enix character. So I think this is maybe Sora done as well. And also there was a really interesting tweet recently from a person who used to work specifically for the Disney like interactive studios division. So Sora is licensed exclusively to Disney. Square Enix licensed that character when they make Kingdom Hearts games, but the IP and everything to do with it belongs solely to Disney.
So it's never going to happen.
Yeah, unfortunately, unless Disney buy Nintendo, which I mean the way they're going.
That is not within the realm. That's not going to happen. I mean,
no, I know it. Japan specifically have laws preventing takeovers of their high-ranking companies.
Okay.
No one in Japan is legally allowed to buy Sony or buy enough shares to have an over. You know what I mean? Have enough shares to have a say or like
controlling majority basically.
Yeah. Japan have very fierce laws to protect their own companies.
That's good because
so Nintendo are never getting bought.
Nintendo and Disney are too similar anyway.
Yeah.
They would protect each other, protect themselves from each other.
The nearest thing we would ever have is Tencent have bought enough shares to have like a seat on the board, but literally laws are in place to say Tencent could never buy enough shares to have a proper say. If you know what I mean.
Well, it seems like Nintendo are quite close with Universal. Because they're building a theme park in Universal Studios in Japan.
Imagine it was in Disney World though.
Probably.
I think Disney would have been a much better job with the theme park, but we'll get to that.
Just throwing the shade already.
I'll get to that.
I don't know much about theme parks, so I can take a back seat on this one.
So let's talk about that. So there was a reveal. It was almost like a theme park direct, I guess we can call it.
Yeah.
But it was Shigeru Miyamoto. He was walking around the park, giving us like a guided tour.
Cute.
Of the park.
I love his
all the
commentary.
Features.
Dad's busy.
He was like, yes, okay, thank you. Okay. Like, oh my God.
Nice, yeah.
When he did
I love him.
direct sign. No one's done the direct hand signs in a couple of years.
Yeah.
I think the last person to do it was Masuda in the Pokemon direct a couple of years ago, but like obviously they were best friends with him, so it's like
tearful.
Oh, I wanna.
I want, when I buy a ticket, because I'm definitely gonna go to Japan just for this. I want Miyamoto to be there just to guide me around. Hopefully he's
gonna stamp everyone's tickets. That's his job.
Exactly.
Now.
Yeah. It's like he's just really happy. Like, thank you.
He works at the front. Yeah.
It'll be beautiful. But yeah. So the Super Nintendo World, it opens its gates in February the 4th, I think, next year. And so we've seen like a kind of a brief look at it. It looks seriously fucking cool. It looks really, really good.
It does look very nice.
No bleeping. The emotion just got the hold of me there. But what we think? What do we think of this reveal of the theme park? Anna's not happy.
Do you want me to say how excited I am before you?
No, because I want to get the bad out of the way. I want to get the bad out of the way first, because I actually have a lot of good stuff to say.
Go on, you go first.
But the bad ties into a lot of the good. So I'm going to bring this up first. And that is that it is, like you can see it on a map, it is really small. It is really small. I don't have anything good to compare it to. I mean, on a map, it looks smaller than a Disney World parking lot. It is small. All right. It is small. So just put it like this. He's in Peach's castle in the lobby, and he has his arms spread out, and he's almost taking up the entire space of the lobby, standing in the middle of it with his arms spread out alone. The entire video looks incredible.
And he's not a big guy. He's not Reggie.
He's not a big guy. He's not a big guy. He's not a tall guy. The park is abandoned. There's nobody else there. Okay. So let's talk about when you're going through and you're doing some of the really cool stuff. And I'm not trying to ruin the cool stuff, because I think this is amazing. I love the armband idea. They're taking a page out of Disney's book, because Universal does inferior theme parks. Fight me. But they took a good page out of Disney's book, and they did the bands, which is what Disney's been doing. And Alex brought this up pre-podcast, and I'm like, yep, that's going to happen. What did you say is going to happen, Alex?
I think it looks great. So he was there, like he was hitting power blocks, collecting his coins. But if when it's busy after COVID's gone away, everyone's got the vaccine, whatever. When it's busy, when it's rammed, people are going to be queuing for ages just to hit a block. Yeah. And it's going to be ridiculous. There's going to be queues everywhere, I think. Just
to do anything interactive. There's so much cool interactive stuff. There are going to be queues for all of those things. All of those things. There's going to be a line to get in the shop. There's going to be a line to get in the restaurant. There's going to be a line to press this block, that block, that block. There's going to be basically the only thing you're not going to have to wait around for is to drink in the scenery, which is really cool. But it's going to be crowded. And the reason I'm so confident about this is because I went to Universal's Hogsmeade when it first opened in Orlando. I lived in Orlando at the time. And it's the same thing. It looked so cool. Now, unlike this, which is its own theme park, this was an extension of Universal's Islands of Adventure. So it's like its own part of a theme park. It's not its own theme park. I will put that addendum on here. But it was treated like its own area for the first few months. I went several months after it opened, guys. And you had to wait to get into this separate part of the park that you already paid $60 whatever to get into. And once you got in there, you could barely move. So like you'd have to wait an hour to go to Ollivander's, an hour to go into this shop or that shop. And then once you get in the rides, you can see all the black lights. Not going to get into that. But yeah, so my big complaint is that it's tiny, and that ties into a lot of the stuff. But yeah, my favorite thing is the bands, because I think that's really cool, and it'll tie into everything. And then the best part he said about it is it acts like an amiibo. So you take it home and you have this experience from Japan or Florida or wherever. You probably don't, chances are, unless you live in those places, like it's a big deal for you to have even gone to that place in the first place. It's a treasured memory forever. So I hope they're not buggy. Like I hope it really works, because it looks cooler than anything Disney has done with their band for sure. The merch obviously looks incredible. And then what was the last thing I wanted to say? Oh my gosh, the Toad Cafe.
Oh my god, the little Mario.
That looks cool.
Just like watching the little guys in the kitchen, I would go nuts as a kid.
When Miyamoto was talking to the little toad, the chef toad. Oh my god, it gave me like so much like John Hammond vibes. I love him so much.
It was so Disney. And if I say so Disney, that's so a compliment. Like Disney is they do theme parks like
no, I
Disney.
Think you're 100% right. This brings to mind to me their partnership with Lego, which we've seen this year, because we are seeing Nintendo being braver and more confident with licensing out their IP, but still bringing over the heart of these experiences. And the thing that sets Nintendo apart and will always set Nintendo apart is the joy of playing. Like, it's not just an IP. It's not just slap Mario on it. They're like, well, how do people enjoy playing with it? And that's why we got an interactive Lego set that people were moaning about, but that's what they do. That's their business model, and it has been for 30 years. You know, like if you couldn't get joy out of making Mario jump, we wouldn't have what we have now. So the idea that they're making this kind of interactive thing and doing it in a way where people can do it in their own time with their phones and like using the armbands, I'm so interested to see how that works when you're there and you feel like you're playing, not just interacting, you know?
Because there's a section
a playground.
in the app. I think there's a section in the app so you can kind of when you go into the Universal app, there's like a Super Nintendo World app.
It
got
looked
app
like
within an app.
stamps. It made me miss.
Yeah, it's really
stamps.
Cool. Yeah, and like so, I think there's like a story. It's like the story is that Bowser Jr. has stolen a golden mushroom, and you've got to collect some keys around the world. So there's so much like attention to detail that's kind of gone into this. And
the thing about theme parks is that attention to detail. It makes it immersive. You go in there and you're not in Japan, you're not in Orlando, wherever. You're in Super Mario World, whatever. You're in Nintendo Land. You are immersed. And that means that everything you touch, everything you see, you're not seeing some guy in a gray jumpsuit. You're seeing a guy in a freaking Toad outfit. I don't know. But you know what I'm saying? Well, no, everything is themed to fit that story. So you are the hero.
It's like you know, you look at the attention to detail Disney have given Galaxy's Edge and like the Cantina and stuff. Like, it's so nice to see Nintendo being celebrated amongst peers, which they deserve to be celebrated amongst. You know, like the video gaming industry brings in more money than TV and film. Like it's high time that it gets treated as such. And Nintendo is the crown jewel of the video game industry, and I will always defend that. Like, it doesn't matter what games come out which year and are more fun than a Mario game, Nintendo have placed themselves as the kings of this industry, and seeing them celebrated this way and seeing Miyamoto get to talk us through that was, I think, something really special. I got emotional watching that video, especially and when he did do the direct hand signal, my brain went, I really wish Iwata had been here to see this. Which, you know, he wasn't, but he would have loved it. And, you know, we've got it. And Miyamoto being a proud dad and walking around was a beautiful thing to like see him experience.
I'm sure it's a lot for him too, because I'm sure that Iwata was involved in a lot of the planning.
This would have been planned for years. I mean, it was starting to go years ago.
Walt Disney wasn't able to be there when Walt Disney World in Florida, which
we
is
like him less.
Some people enjoy.
Not so cute.
Well, some people enjoy. What my point is, like.
No, I know. I'm sorry.
It's, you know, someone spends so much time and effort, and some people would say that the Florida one's better than the California one. I haven't compared them, but like the point is, if you could only see
Florida's better.
I really like the Florida one, but again, I can't compare. But if he could only see the fruits of his labor, right? And neither of them now can see yet, because of COVID, what the true fruits of their labor will be. You know, maybe 10 years down the line, they'll be able to see what's if it's really a true success as a theme park.
I guess it'll be like Iwata's legacy, isn't it? It's like part of his legacy is going to be this the Super Nintendo World, which is like a nice thing.
I hope as well. Like, obviously this is Super Nintendo World, and Mario is specifically Miyamoto's legacy. So I hope that maybe, you know, Iwata came over from HAL Laboratories, so I don't think it's outside the realms of possibility. If this is super successful, I think Kirby would be probably the next thing they bring in. I'd love to see Zelda, I'd love to see Metroid, but I think in terms of like mass appeal and a character that works in that environment, having a little Kirby play area, and think of like the big pink fluffy clouds of Kirby, like going on like an air ride, like
I don't know. What about? I know they're separate, sort of, but
Pokemon. Yeah, I was gonna say Pokemon's gotta be. Surely
there was a Pokemon theme park in Tokyo, and I don't know if it's still up and running. So that's already happened. So yeah, that's different licensing, but I would prefer that above absolutely anything. You're 100%.
It'll be like you have to download Pokemon Go before you're allowed in the park.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
You have to have all these passes, and
one Pokemon is only there, and you have to pay £20 for the pass to get him, even though you're there.
What?
Squeeze people out of money.
Stop sounding. I'm triggered because it sounds like something they would do.
We're not going to go into it because we talk rubbish about Pokemon every single week, and we always talk down on Pokemon. They keep doing bad things. They keep doing bad things. But this week, and I'm gonna gloss over it. Pokemon Go added Galarian Mr. Mime, so not even a new Pokemon, a variant of a Pokemon, and it costs $8.99 to unlock the research to unlock him.
Nice.
Hang on, I'm sorry. I think my headphones are broken. You said to unlock the research?
Yeah, not to unlock him, to unlock the research, to do the work to get Galarian Mr. Mime is $8.99. So Niantic and Pokemon Go, I ain't happy with you right now. I ain't happy with you.
Yeah, I'd love to see how many people are paying for that. Like, if they keep doing this, surely people are paying.
Somebody is.
Yeah.
It feels so shady that I'm laughing because it's like I have friends that probably are paying for it.
And I'm still so annoyed sending over my Pokemon from Pokemon Go to Pokemon Home. And once I send over so many, and it's like, you can use 1,000 Poke Coins to recharge. And I'm like, that's 15 quid. I'm not doing this.
Want to spend some more money?
Yeah, anyway,
I think you say something a little more with more expletives in it. But yeah, that's the gist of it, right?
Yeah. Pokemon Rant of the Week, over, done.
So yeah, speaking of spending a lot of money on useless things, the one up factory in Super Nintendo World, that's probably, if I go, it's probably going to bankrupt me because it had just the brief look. It looked like it had so many things. I just wanted to buy it. Like
I love the little walking toy.
Yeah, was it Toko Mario? That looks so good. I was like,
everybody will want that. Yeah.
I just saw the hats. I wanted, like, there was a blooper hat and like a Bullet Bill hat, and I was like, why do I want these?
Yeah, and it was like the popcorn bucket in the shape of a star. I was like, I'm going to be that person.
Like, I like how he was like, oh, I think it's a little unseemly for me to be like walking around eating, and I'm like, boy, so I live in what?
There's no one there, and it's your park.
First of all, there's no one here. Second of all, I don't know, just as an American who also lives in New York, like nothing shocks me. So I'm like, bro, you're eating popcorn. That's like the normalest thing ever. Like, what? I've seen people eating takeout on the subway. You're fine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You just calm down, Miyamoto. Like, you're fine. You don't need to apologize. I'm sorry. That got me.
It's not a Sunday morning on the tube unless you're seeing someone eating a kebab.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That got me. But no, the star container for the popcorn, like, again, shut up and take my money. I'll buy everything. That place, I thought the same thing, Alex, when I watched the video. I was like, when I go, I need to come with like $1,000 budget. Like, I need to come with a lot of money to spend.
A large extra suitcase.
Yeah, exactly.
I just need a whole suitcase for Mario merch. Like, I will buy all of it.
Yeah. I maybe I can get away with it. I can say it's for my son and daughter. I could be like, oh, they really want these toys. They need them. But I don't know if my wife will buy that.
Please, honey.
So let's move on to we asked the community, the lovely Switch Player community, if they had any questions for us this week. Seeing as it's the last episode, so you got a couple of questions back. So I'm going to kind of run through them, see if I can get through as many as time allows. So first of all, let's stay close to home. Lewis A. Parker, part of the Ninty Fresh team, has asked us which dead Nintendo franchise, in brackets, no new games for 10 plus years, do you think has the best chance of becoming Nintendo's next major big selling franchise if they were to give it another shot with the right team? So what franchise would you resurrect, and what team would you give it to?
Oh, I don't know what team, but I think Mother is something people have been asking for, right? And people really like the style. Like, what Undertale was very, very popular and just like screams like Earthbound vibes. Maybe
that could be a good one. Yeah. I don't know if there's one in the works, but I always loved like Advance Wars. And I guess that came out on the DS like a while. Like, was that
That's the last ones? Yeah,
Yeah.
Dual Strike. No, Dark.
Forgot those existed.
What was Dark something? The second one of the DS. Yeah.
But yeah, I really love those games. They're really, really good fun to play.
Yeah.
I think that like if there was some like online functionality, it'd be a really fun thing to play if they kind of
Fire Emblem makes the money now.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But maybe that could be another big thing. I don't know. Nate, what were you saying?
Yeah, what about you?
I'm trying to think of the studio because what I want is a competent Star Fox game. And I want one that balances, like Star Fox Adventures, can have some on-foot stuff and can have some dogfighting. And like Star Fox Command on the DS, have a really good online.
Really?
Yeah. Star Fox Command on the DS was one of the ones where you drew... so basically, you drew your path with the touchscreen. So it was an on-rail shooter. And that was really interesting. That worked really well because you didn't have to worry so much about maneuvering. But then it had a really, really competent kind of like arena dogfighting online system as well. In my head, I'm thinking...
I'm trying to think of it. Kid Icarus's online was so good too. Sorry, anyway.
No, that was so good.
I'm just like, well, come on, Switch. That was so good.
And Super Mario Party on the Switch can't... Anyway.
Okay, sorry. I'm just like, you're reminding me.
All these great games.
I will rant about the Super Mario Party any day of the week. I
God,
guess if I wanted Star Fox, I would... after seeing No Man's Sky, Hello Games could definitely do it, and that would really reel it in. But I think what I would like to see is I'd like to see Ubisoft do it after the really, really good work they did with Starlink and the Star Fox content, because I played that and I played the Star Fox content, and that was clearly made by people that loved Star Fox. And Starlink is overlooked. It is not the wildest game in the world, but it's really competent. It's scaled really well to the Switch. I had a great time with it, and I think... you just have to look at the success of Mario and Rabbids. I think a few people who really love the franchise and Nintendo license out could make something special. And I think as much as Ubisoft aren't the best studio in the world, they have a lot of really good and passionate people working for them, like David Celiani. And I'd like to find a David Celiani for Star Fox in their team.
It could be, you could have ring fit functionality when it's like do a barrel roll. You could quickly like shuffle the ring fit for you.
Give me ring fit functionality in so many games.
On so many games, yeah. Like so many people have talked about racing games. Use it like the Wii. I still have my Wii.
It's true.
My Mario Kart Wii thing. I still have that. It's so satisfying. I never play that game anymore, but it was very satisfying to play Mario Kart Wii with
I'd love to do it with Tetris 99. So you just steer it left and right and then squeeze it for down.
So good fun. Yeah.
That sounds nightmarish to actually do well playing like that.
You'd ache afterwards.
You'd lose. I'd be so buff.
But you get an arm workout. Yeah.
The girls would be like, how'd you get those muscles? Like Tetris.
Tetris, baby.
Tetris, baby.
Yeah. Tetris champion right here. Right. So let's ask another question. So Ryan Cobain, he's got multiple questions for us. So first of all, he wants to know our favorite gaming snack or beverage. So what is it that you have to, when you're sitting down to play a game on Switch, you have to drink or have to eat? Is there anything in particular?
What? I stream most of the time that I play games lately, and I love to have tea while I'm streaming. And I know that sounds like a really generic answer, but like tea with lots of honey while I play games, and it usually ends up getting really like lukewarm really quickly because I drink it really slow, but it helps me talk while I'm playing. That's a weird answer, but that's my answer.
I like that. Yeah, I have I love my coffee. I really love coffee, and I always have like good ground coffee that I filter through, and I try and limit how much sugar I have because I've got ADHD and it's not fun. It's not fun.
I like black coffee, black coffee and video games. Ugh.
What I've got is like a 0 sugar, 0 calories French vanilla stuff. So I have coffee with French vanilla and then have it over rice. And if I have a snack, I love popcorn. It's just a big old grazing snack. I love popcorn. like especially because I just buy the kernels, so I just make myself it with like a load of vegan butter, chuck in some garlic because I like it savory as well, like and a load of black pepper and salty. Like I love it like that.
That sounds like gourmet popcorn.
So
it's
terrible. Cheaper. It's cheaper than like regular popcorn. Just buying a pack of the kernels is so cheap.
It's sweet all the way though.
You're giving me so many ideas.
I like sweet popcorn, but if I'm making it for myself, I'm gonna make it garlicky and
yeah, savory popcorn's the way to go. But now you're making me think of like those M&Ms and things that you can just keep grazing on and like.
Yes.
Now I need to go shopping.
I've spoken about it before, but me and my friend Pat used to do when we were young and single. Used to do whiskey coffees, like play Call of Duty Zombies and just drink whiskey coffees all day long.
So good. I love that. But then
towards the end, your aim was just all over the place. just kind of just smash, and it's like 2:00 in the afternoon. But nowadays, I do like a hot chocolate and Baileys. That's a good combo, especially this time of year. That's a good combination to kind of have.
That's a good winter combo.
Christmas drink.
Yeah, or I'd like to just unwind with a nice beer, kind of get like a variety pack of different kind of beers, stouts and that kind of stuff. Just like have a beer and just play.
I think we're making everybody like peckish now.
Yeah.
I had a really good mulled wine yesterday that made me so happy. That's my favorite thing about winter is like mulled wines with like a little bit of rum in there or something. Irish it up. I love it.
Yeah, I was about to say mulled wine's not alcoholic, so it's good, but you've just added.
No, I get the rum in there, 100%. Or whiskey, hot chocolate with whiskey is so good.
I don't have hot chocolate. I don't want to go shopping tonight, guys. Stop.
Should be buying all the
it's
alcohol.
Already dark out. I don't want to go to the store and buy hot chocolate and popcorn and M&Ms and beer. Like, stop.
I mean, it's 10 p.m. for me and Alex. We're stuck with whatever we've got.
Yeah, going to the petrol station.
It's only 5 o'clock here, so you're causing real temptation that I don't need.
Just go and get everything. Just Baileys, definitely. And
only leave for essential stuff, people.
Exactly.
Not whiskey.
Whiskey is essential sometimes.
I do actually have some whiskey.
There you go. You're fine.
It's 5 parts whiskey, 1 part coffee, and then you're away. It's good.
No wonder your aim was off.
Yeah. It's like, Pat, I can't see anymore. What's going on? He also asks, what do we play any? This is controversial. Do we play any other consoles? And what is our favorite non-Nintendo game?
Ooh, I mean, I have I collect a lot of consoles anyway. So like, I don't have an Xbox One because I didn't see the point of it, especially when they announced how backwards compatible the Series X is. But I've got a 360 and a load of games. I've got every PlayStation. I've got a Dreamcast and a Mega Drive and a Master System and a Game Gear because I'm a massive nerd, as well as I have every Nintendo console ever released apart from the NES. So don't judge me there. I don't need a
little
NES.
Bit of a fan.
I don't need a NES. I've got the NES Mini. What am I going to sit and play Ice Climbers? I don't care. I'm a collector, but it stops at some point. But I love my PS4. I really, really love the Uncharted series because I love Indiana Jones, and those games are better than any Indiana Jones games that's ever come out. And I also really, really loved God of War and Spider-Man. No.
No? Or in addition to?
In addition to, I love those games. I love those games, but my favorite PlayStation game is definitely Bloodborne. I've played that game so much. I haven't completed it, but it's incredible.
Wow. You actually haven't completed Bloodborne. I love watching.
I don't care. I've had so much fun with it without even completing it. I've got as far as a guy called Mikolash, who's got a giant cage on his head.
We're gonna get comments like, "Oh, just you wait."
I'm sure people are going to call me rubbish, but
you're not rubbish.
No, when I was younger, I was a really big H.P. Lovecraft fan, and obviously he's a horrible person and a massive racist. But it's really cool to see his work extrapolated on and expanded upon by other people who have got more respect for the horror sci-fi genres. And Bloodborne is such an incredible visualization of some of his ideas and like the horror genre. It's beautiful, man.
It's beautiful in a way. It's very grotesque and in a very good way.
I'm a huge fan of gothic horror. So that for me is really good. Like I really love Guillermo del Toro, and like Crimson Peak is such a beautiful gothic horror film. So like, Bloodborne is everything I love. It's incredible, and it's also mechanically one of the best games ever made.
It's got some classes that are very difficult and fun to play as. Souls games are not my brand, but I really appreciate like watching people play them for the difficulty aspect of them in addition to how good they look.
I have stuck with the saw blade from the beginning, and I've just powered it up and powered it up. I've used like the Kirk hammer a few times, and I like the whirligig.
Isn't that one? No, that one's supposed to be hard, isn't it?
The whirligig's like the spinning Beyblade thing. Yeah,
that's really hard to use, isn't it?
It's super cool though. It's just a spinning blade. I love it.
You're like Axel.
But like I just keep going back to like the saw. I think it's the saw cleaver or the saw something. But like, I just love that one. I just love the way that one works. But that's just because I'm stubborn.
I've got a series. I bought an Xbox Series X, so I've kind of been going through. I've got Game Pass with it, so I've kind of been going through those kind of games.
I want Game Pass Halo so again. Much.
It is like a really like for the price, it's really like a really good deal, and you could just. I'm one of those people who likes to experience a lot of different games. I won't necessarily complete them all, but I want to kind of like try out different games, different experiences. So I really enjoy that where a new one comes, I can play it and try it out, rather than dropping 40 quid on a game and going, this is for me really. It's great. You could just download it straight to your console and have a go. So that's been really good. So I've been playing through all the Halo games again in anticipation for the Halo Infinite next year, maybe. Hopefully. Unless they're kind of looking at
Don't give everyone so much false hope.
I think if the lesson learned from them is delay it more and get rid of the old versions.
I bet they're like, thank God. Lesson. Rather than releasing it broken for Xbox Series X,
if I ever have to look at bloody Craig's space again.
And the number one game for me, my favorite non-Nintendo game, is Hitman. I guess
that's so fun to watch.
I love playing. I love games where
we're getting Hitman in a way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the cloud version. I guess it's not the right way to play it, but I just love those games where you can take whatever approach you want to a certain situation. Where you
I
can
love those kinds of games.
All that kind of thing. So I love those games so much.
They're puzzle action games. They're incredible.
Really good,
and like I got chills when IO Interactive got announced for doing a James Bond game. That is so perfect. The idea of them turning they were basically making a James Bond game anyway, so seeing them get the license they deserve is so good.
Hopefully that comes off. Hopefully it's not like a terribly license,
I'm
just gonna slap Daniel Craig in there and hope it sells. But
it probably won't be Daniel Craig by the time it comes out. But like, I'm so jealous of your Series X. I want to get one eventually because in terms of backwards compatibility and the stuff on Game Pass, it looks incredible. Like we've been having, I follow John Cartwright, the video producer from Nintendo Life, lovely bloke, and he's been going through and he keeps posting videos of like the old Sonic games and stuff like, and some of the old Star Wars games, and they just look so crisp. And they run so well, and load times are gone. I'm like, this is the console for preserving and having old games. This looks incredible.
It's a really good console for preservation.
Why aren't Nintendo doing this? Why is Xbox the best console for preservation? Like, even PlayStation. There's so many classic PlayStation games you can't buy on your PS4. It's so stupid. I don't know how Xbox have become the go-to console for preservation when they have the least IP in series. I've got so much respect
that's
for them.
Probably why they have the least to lose. I think
it
doesn't water down like people, I'm playing the devil's advocate a bit here, but part of the bully of preservation, I guess, in a way, is people that want to keep their IPs like really strong, and part of that is being very protective of them, and so it would sort of make sense that the one with the least IPs would be the one to come out and make it the easiest for you to access everything, because they have the least things that they're being protective of.
I guess you're right.
I don't know, but that doesn't make it better.
Do you have any other consoles apart from Nintendo ones, or you?
No, absolutely not, never. No, I was my first console actually was my first video game was a Game Boy Color. But my first console was a PlayStation. It was I would sit on my sister's bed and watch her play Crash Bandicoot and be like, "Can I play?" "No, go away, get out of my room." But she gave it to me for Hanukkah a couple years later. And then I got a PlayStation 2 from my cousin a few years after that. So I did play old PlayStation. I love like Kingdom Hearts, And yeah, I enjoyed Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, and a lot of those things. And there's a couple like obscure ones like Metropolis Mania, and I think The Sims I first played on the PlayStation as well. Yeah, I think of all of them, my favorites non-Nintendo is probably Kingdom Hearts, like Kingdom Hearts 2 in particular. But I'm a very big fan of those games. I was really glad that Dream Drop Distance came to DS. And I actually haven't finished Dream Drop Distance.
I traded it in.
You traded it in? I actually really like it. There's no particular reason I haven't finished it. I'm really slow playing Kingdom Hearts games. I take for literal years. I'll just stop on a boss and be like, well, I'm done for 2 years.
That series feels
it's easy to not get spoiled.
Inevitable on Switch, surely.
Oh, sure. I mean, I just need they have all of them on Game Pass. You can literally play every Kingdom Hearts game.
They don't have to do that. They can charge us.
I want that though.
But obviously we might not get 3, but what's the name of the collection? 358 days, .12 / you've been dreaming for years, wake up. You know what I mean? It's all of it's 1.1,
Remix
1.5,
Turbo.
2.
You forgot Remix Turbo.
Supercharged, yeah.
Yeah.
But obviously there is a lot of games and people care about all of these games. And there's already a collection that has all of these. Like the Metal Gear Legacy collection that has the PSP games and stuff. Why is this not on Switch?
I think Nintendo fans have proven that we'll buy Kingdom Hearts on your Nintendo. We bought it on Game Boy Advanced. We'll buy it on with Chain of Memories. We will certainly buy it on the Switch. We bought it on the DS. We'll buy it on anything. We love Kingdom Hearts. We love Donald and Goofy. Well, maybe not Donald and Goofy.
Yeah. What I think they would do is I think they've got the Capcom route of instead of, and Capcom have been super cheeky about this, is instead of releasing a collection, they'd release them piecemeal one by one. So we got Devil May Cry 1 for 15 quid and you're like, all right, well, yeah, I'll buy it. And then they're like, Devil May Cry 2 for 15 quid. And you're like, this is adding up, actually. And then they did the same with the Resident Evil games. They were like, Resident Evil 0, 20 quid. And
wait, I haven't gotten a raise yet.
Yeah, and it's I guess this is cool. They're selling them to us one by one. And it'd be nice to get a collection. But I think if we ever do get them, I think it'll be like Kingdom Hearts 1 for 15, 20 quid. And then, which isn't the ideal way to do it. Yeah, that doesn't feel like the ideal way to do it. But I think that's how Nintendo will sell Square Enix on licensing those games on Switch.
That actually sounds very on brand.
So I think the same thing with Metal Gear Solid. As much as I want us to get that legacy collection of Metal Gear Solid, it's just not what happens. That's fine. Yeah. I'll buy them.
That's way overdue, isn't it?
I love Metal Gear Solid as well. Please.
They kind of what is it? Jump the shark a little bit with it, but as they say, you know what I'm trying to say, right? They sort of jumped the shark with the series, but I feel like it's not beyond repair.
Yeah, what was the game?
They're not making anymore.
What was the game when it was zombies attacking you? It was in waves.
Metal Gear Survive.
Yeah, what the hell was that?
Survive was the first Metal Gear game made after Kojima left Konami.
Yeah, and that's what they came up with.
It's an asset rip from Zeros and Five that is whatever. Konami are more interested in pachinko machines than video games. No, they are. That's their business model. The only Silent Hill game that's been made in the last 10 years is a Silent Hill pachinko machine. So Konami, brought in hell or license out your IPs. I'm sick of you. I'm sadly a massive Silent Hill, Metal Gear, and Castlevania fan, so it's really depressing.
yeah. All the franchises you love are never.
Speaking of old franchises, you'd like to come back.
I really love Bomberman as well. So it's fine. One day they're just gonna sell their IP like Marvel did in the 90s, and Nintendo are gonna buy them all, not somebody bad.
Yeah, well, a Metal Gear movie's coming out, in the next couple of years. So
yes, it is. Oscar Isaac as Metal Gear.
As Metal Gear.
Yes,
Metal Gear.
He's gonna play the big robot. He plays the robot. Yeah.
No, it's gonna be Paul Giamatti. He's got the same robot suit from Amazing Spider-Man 2.
He's playing like a Gundam robot. Yeah, exactly.
Oscar Isaac as Snake is really good casting.
That's good. That's very good. Yeah. So hopefully they'll kind of see an opportunity there and be like, maybe we'll release it around that kind of time. People buy into that.
And also, Jordan Voight-Roberts. Has anybody seen Kong Skull Island?
Yes, yeah.
That film's good, man. I don't know why that's really not talked about enough. That film's really fun.
Yeah. It's kind of
not perfect, but it's like Tom Hiddleston, Brie Larson, Samuel Jackson, and
it's got really good cast. Yeah.
What's his face from Step Brothers?
John C. Reilly.
John C. Reilly.
Like, well, yeah.
Man, that film, it's got John Goodman. That film's so much fun, man.
Well, we've got. Is it next year? Kong versus Godzilla is coming out. So,
yes, coming to HBO Max day and date.
I love Godzilla movies. I'm so excited.
Literally, because Godzilla vs Kong is coming out, I've been going through them, and I watched King of the Monsters 2 days ago, and I was like, this film's silly, but I love it.
Yeah, if you guys if no one's ever watched an old Godzilla movie, go back and watch like the old ones. They're just so deliciously like,
the original like Toto ones,
they're just like they're good movies, but then they're like the you know what I mean by bad, they're like old movies, so they're funny.
I mean, we'll move on, but very, very briefly, if ever you do want to watch the Godzilla movies, what I would recommend is maybe looking up the influence of Godzilla movies, and if you understand them from the nuclear panic after things like Hiroshima, it's really heavy. I'm really sorry, but that is what those films were made in response to, and they are a really interesting political response to nuclear bombings. And those films, they look super funny and cheesy nowadays, but like the story they were telling at the time is groundbreaking. That's what makes them interesting, and that's why I love Godzilla, because they are really, really like Shin Godzilla now is a perfect political representation of like bureaucracy and the things wrong with modern day like Japanese culture in the wake of what was the recent nuclear meltdown in Japan? Fukushima. So Shin Godzilla was made in response to the Fukushima nuclear disaster. Like those movies are really, really interesting in response to kind of nuclear stuff. Anyway, that was a massive tangent. Carry on.
Yeah. So being at film school for a second.
Sorry, I am a film graduate.
Me too. We could have a spin-off podcast. So Brian Miller also kind of tweeted in a question. He's curious about our thoughts on the latest Doug Bowser interview with Polygon, specifically what he said in regards to the Switch Pro. So just to remind you, like Polygon asked him directly about the Switch Pro, and he said they're focusing all their efforts on the Switch and the Switch Lite, because, and I quote, the momentum on these consoles in the 4th year is strong, which kind of feels like he was dodging the question a bit there. But yeah, what are our thoughts? What are our thoughts on that interview? Did he come out well on it? Are we excited for the future with Doug Bowser at the helm?
I don't think he said anything we don't already know. Like, he didn't rule out a Switch Pro. I don't know. I wasn't like, I read it and I was like, okay, like Polygon, you guys said before we started, they did a good job of prodding him and trying to get him to answer the damn questions. And he did to the extent that, his like script allowed. But he stuck to his script, and, there's nothing, he teased a couple good things. But overall, I don't think we learned much. He didn't shoot. There's not going to be a Switch Pro just because he said that. He's just saying that they're not abandoning the light and stuff, and he did set an expectation for things they've learned and things they would carry forward into the Switch Pro. He even kind of said something about like what they were asking about Joy-Con drift, and he's like, and I won't say much about it, but we have taken note about this for the future. I'm like, he says little things like that throughout. So
I think, like we said before as well, then he's not going to say, the Switch Pro is real just before Christmas when everyone's...
This isn't how you announce these things.
Because then no one's going to buy... We talked about that before. No one's going to buy a Switch.
Yeah. So maybe early next year, we could be talking about Switch Pro, Switch Pro Direct or something.
I've said before, so we have learned Nintendo are in control of rumors. They know what comes out and they know when to let things out. Like, we found out a couple of years ago that, do you remember the old Star Fox Grand Prix rumors? It turned out that was Nintendo leaking information to certain people to find out holes in their security. So Star Fox Grand Prix was made up, but it helped Nintendo find someone that was leaking stuff. This is true. So Nintendo know the power of the rumor mill and they know how to use it. So I think we're gonna start getting credible rumors of a Switch Pro. So we're gonna start seeing like licensing slips or accessories in January, because they do not want people to spend the January money on a new console if they know a Switch Pro is coming. There's going to be a lot of Nintendo fans who might be like, well, maybe I'll get a PS5 or maybe I'll get an Xbox Series X.
Exactly.
But if they start hearing about a Switch Pro with enough kind of smoke, they will be like, oh, maybe I won't, because I don't think it's going to be announced until at least a month before it's kind of released. And I think at the moment we're looking at about April, May. So I think the Switch Pro will be announced, possibly at the end of March, with a new NSO system, which is obviously what we're leading towards with all of these things being discontinued in March.
Yeah, I did a Switch Pro video, like rounding up all the rumors a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And a lot of the comments were like, "Oh man, I can't believe I just bought a Switch and there's going to be a Switch Pro out." And I was very quick
That's
to like,
what they wanted.
like, yeah. I was kind of like, "Oh no, it's rumored. It might not happen straight away." But if people are put off buying a Switch now, then that's not what they want, right?
Yeah.
That is exactly what they wanted with Super Mario 3D All-Stars, and it has worked to a T. Like Nintendo have, they filled out the thing is, it wasn't even a weak financial year thanks to Animal Crossing. Like Nintendo very clearly have moved games out of their schedule. If we hadn't had COVID and our releases for this year were Animal Crossing, Paper Mario, 51 worldwide games, and Age of Calamity, would have been
a horrible year.
What the hell? Like, there's no, and Pikmin 3 Deluxe, sorry, but that is a port, so I counted that a bit less.
No, it's true. You're right.
That would have been a horrible release, but obviously we're kind of now looking at it through the lens of like, actually, this isn't too bad in terms of things moving. So this artifice of only until March is moving Switch units. 100% is. Like we, and they started this. We've talked about this so much, and anecdotally, I've known 3-4 people pick up a Switch Lite specifically for Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
I literally spoke to a friend yesterday who got a Switch for Animal Crossing, bought Breath of the Wild in the middle, and then yesterday was like, I'm going to get 3D All-Stars before it stops being sold. Like those were literally his words. So like beyond our sphere of people who are in the know and like, about Nintendo games, people know
plenty of people. And Nintendo knows there are lots of people who are Switch owners now who aren't like lifelong Nintendo fans. So they'll have that kind of more naive attitude towards it than more naive than us.
Yeah, I felt really bad because he asked me, he was like, "Oh, have you got 3D All Stars? What do you think?" And I was like, "Have I got it?" I was like, "I reviewed it for Ninty Fresh."
That's how I feel every time my friends text me game news. They're like, "Did you hear about Pikmin 3 Deluxe?"
Oh my God. And I was like, I was heavily critical, and I started tearing into like the bad accessibility options and like the stuff they could have done with the ports. And he was like, "Yeah, man. Well, I'm just kind of excited to play those games." And I was like, "Yeah, you're right."
Has he ever texted you again?
Cute. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt really bad. I got carried away. I just wanted to mention the person who did the interview is Russ Frushtick from Polygon, because he did a really, really good job. I know we mentioned it, but he really prodded Doug kind of beyond what we expect people to. He didn't take no for an answer. And like when he was talking about the delisting of Mario, when Doug said like, oh, it's kind of in the idea of celebration and this is just to do with his birthday, and he very specifically was like, well, no, you're leaving money on the table. If you sell this digitally beyond this, you're just making more money. So I don't understand why you're not doing this. And a lot of people, when they interview big people at Nintendo, kind of tickle their bellies because they're a difficult company to get that foot in the door with. People have a really frosty relationship with Nintendo because they're so quick to shut people down, as our good friend Captain Alex will know. But people notoriously have to be really careful when talking with and working with Nintendo. So fair play to Polygon on this. They did a really good job, and I'm really happy they did as well. I mean, obviously, Doug didn't go beyond his script, but it's nice to see people in a year where Nintendo have made a couple of missteps that I'm not happy with. I'm really happy that people are having the integrity to kind of ask them tough questions, because no one's above anything, and because we love Nintendo, we want them to do good things and we want them to do better.
Exactly. We want them to succeed, but we need them. You got to hold their feet to the fire a little bit, and they certainly did that.
Or they won't grow. If they're too comfortable, they won't grow, and then they won't give us new good things.
Oh, it's almost like we should criticize them when they put out things that we don't like.
Let's move on.
I think we have. I think we have done in the past. The final question is from one of our Patreon supporters and like friend of Switch player, Bobby, at Bobby Len. He wants to talk us, I guess it's one for me and you, Nathan, a little bit about the process of making videos and how much work goes into a video, and if we have total freedom or must we get approval. So I started making videos a year ago, and I just kind of emailed Paul out of the blue. I think Chris Scullion tweeted about Twitch Player Magazine. I went on the website, started reading about it. It was really cool. So I just emailed Paul and just said, like, is there any chance I could make videos for you? He very kindly, he asked me if I could make a video on Thimbleweed Park, just to see if I make sure I wasn't an awful editor. And he obviously liked what I did, and then
because you're a very very good editor.
Shucks. So ever since then, just been making videos every week or every other week, every month, when I can, basically, because I've got a full-time job, just trying to fit it in between there. But Paul has been very good in just letting us do whatever we want, really.
Yeah.
There's never been you have to make a video on this.
At the start, I kind of felt very nervous about like messaging Paul and being like, oh, what if I did this and I tried this? And he's always been super responsive. He's always been like, try what you want as long as it's within our remit. And like, he's been really helpful. And I've worked so closely with you, Alex, as well. Like, I don't make as many videos as you because I also have to do regular reviews. And I have I also have a job and I have a lot of responsibilities outside of this as well. So like and I also got very ill this year. So I need to make more videos, but I will get back to it.
It's not been a great year.
Don't we all?
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. I didn't get the Rona, so it's all right. So yeah, we have complete freedom, and working with you as well has been like the biggest joy of like just bouncing ideas.
Yeah.
No, but like we just get to bounce ideas off each other, and there's been so many times where like we've just had an idea, and you're like, "Oh, could you do the VO and could you add to this?" And we've written a script together. So we've been like, I feel super lucky to have joined a team where I have someone like you who's kind of like there to help me with stuff.
And sometimes you'll call out and get the whole team involved, which is always really nice.
It's so nice to get everyone involved. Yeah. Like everyone doing like, I think Anna, you've done a couple of videos, haven't you? Like
I've thrown my voice into like one or two. Yeah.
It's just nice to get, because it's such a, I think the team, they know so much about Nintendo and the Switch. It'd be a crime not to use that expertise. So it's always good to get other people kind of getting involved.
Yeah.
Also,
get different perspectives.
There's no way me and you know everything. Like, there's been a couple of times like we've tried to make a video about something. We've had to go to other people like, what is this game?
Yeah. And like we did one on like the hardest Nintendo Mario levels just before Super Mario 3D All Stars. That was really good fun.
That was an ambitious one. And then all the videos about the Animal Crossing bugs and stuff were very ambitious and required a big team effort. But it all came out of your mind, Alex. It was all stuff like, or a lot of it would all be like, oh, I think it'd be cool if we did this video. It wasn't, there's no, to sort of get to back to the question a little bit, that you don't have to jump through like hoops to do any of this, really.
No, Paul's just really good at like, because I think I was the same as you, Nathan. I was emailing him every week like, what do you think about this? I've got an idea about this. How do you think this would have? And he was just like, you know best. You do whatever you want.
Unlike with the magazine, everything is pre-planned, like issues ahead. It features the reviews. It's a lot. It's still, a forum, but it's a lot more pre-planned. Whereas on the video front, it's more of like creative canvas for you in particular, but Nathan as well.
Just react to whatever's happening. It was a little bit easier pre-COVID times because I used to kind of write the scripts on the train to work. And I kind of cheekily used to use the first hour of work when no one was in to start cutting videos.
Me too.
So it was very, very handy, but because of COVID and stuff, I had a daughter in February just before lockdown, which was fun. It's been I have a lot less spare time, so it's just kind of any spare hour I get, I'm just kind of working on a video or working on an idea for a video. But I just feel really lucky to be able to make videos for Switch Player. It's been really nice. Yeah,
and we've had you've had some huge videos. Like when the Animal Crossing zeitgeist was as big as it was, one of the QR code videos got over 300,000.
And see, what was annoying about that one was that took the least amount of effort. It was just getting QR codes from the internet.
It wasn't even.
But that's video content. That's video content. When you make like a 20-minute essay, like with so much editing and stuff, people don't care. You literally have to make like 1-minute recap videos and just uploading footage, and you get a million. But that's how people consume that content, and that's fine.
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It's a big learning curve. It's interesting to see what people want to watch, want to see, and hopefully next year we can kind of put more into it.
And the podcast has also been an interesting
Yes.
space for this.
So this is,
I think I must be for you. This is one of the like, in terms of the amount of content we get out of it, this is like kind of the least work in terms of editing, but we get so much out of it. Like, by the you know, normally if you're going to do an hour of footage, you have to write that script. You have to get so much footage downloaded, get that sorted, edited, and like do all the levels. Whereas this afterwards, like I've only done a couple of podcasts. Oh no, I've only done one with this one. But like once you've got it all lined up and you just listen through and you add some bits here and there, but like
make sure it's so right.
An hour of content out of just general chat is so
just
good.
Chatting.
So yeah,
and hopefully people enjoy it, right?
Oh yeah, I think so.
I think people
do you enjoy it?
Podcast.
Leave a like if you do.
Like and subscribe and tell your Nintendo friends because we need more people to know about us and the magazine, please.
Yes.
Subscribe on Patreon.
Oh my god, can we give a shout out to Jonathan's incredible cover this month?
This is show on the video.
Incredible.
So he said there was a secret in here.
I can't find it.
Oh, you can't?
There's a Korok somewhere.
Where's the Korok? Wait, Anna, please.
Yeah, haha. Wait, I don't want to spoil it.
Don't ruin it. I
don't want to ruin it. There is a little Korok hiding.
Yeah, don't ruin it in case we have any subscribers who want to find it for themselves. But
I think I literally went through like scanning it.
I can tell you guys after the recording if you want.
Yeah. Because I've looked.
Leave a comment below if you find it. Yeah. Cool. Well, that kind of wraps up the question answer session, and that wraps up our last episode before Christmas, which is very sad.
Aww.
Yes, I know, but you know, I'm not that. It's gonna be that, and we're gonna be back to next year.
Exactly. Talk about Switch Pro, how Breath of the Wild 2 is coming out next week.
No more what's happening in 2021.
No,
it's gonna be this year.
The thing is, like, once we get to January, the ball's gonna start rolling real quick. We're gonna have like probably an indie direct or a mini direct really soon. Like Mario 3D World Bowser's Fury comes out in February. We don't know anything about what that means in terms of the extra content. Pokemon's 25th anniversary is February 25th. And last year in January, we had a Pokemon Direct. So when like news is gonna start rolling, and like
we're gonna be like just like throwing out everything, you know.
It's gonna be like SpongeBob with the hamburgers in the first episode, feeding all the sardine guys.
What I'm really hoping for is obviously like we've seen this year was meant to be like the year of Mario, and it's meant to be rolled out, and we're meant to kind of get like the announcer 3D All Stars earlier in the year, and then some stuff laid out. If next year is Zelda, I hope it's more spread out as opposed to like here's all the Zelda in September. So maybe we'll start getting some Zelda stuff real early next year. Who knows?
That'll be exciting. I'm looking forward to next year.
Even if we get like Skyward Sword HD in March and then they show Breath of the Wild 2 at E3 or something comparable, and then it's a holiday game, like just having it spaced over a year. Man, I'd love me some Zelda. 2021, please deliver.
I don't think anyone would really argue with that.
And no limited releases in sight, please.
Please no.
I'm going to tell right now, April 1st, you will be able to download all of those games separately on your Switch, and then your Switch Pro later in the year. They're just not going to be in that cheap collection.
Yeah, which is a good thing.
This was for cheap, by the way.
Right, so we'll call it a day there. Thank you so much for listening. We'll of course be back in early 2021 with talking about all the news. But until then, have a great Christmas and a new year, and we'll see you on the other side. Bye.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.